expressed on the following program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership.
Arizona, Phoenix, Casa Grande, Prescott, Pace, and Brother Mike back on the radio. Welcome to Filthy Fridays on Hardcore. You are about to listen to the nastiest Christian radio broadcast in the country. You're going to hear the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and we don't care who likes it. Welcome to the program. God bless you. Don't call anybody today and tell them the radio program's on. This is Filthy Friday, and it is just between you and I. The gender unicorn coming to a school district near you. This is Brother Mike. I'm the professional counselor at the House of Healing. We're in Central Phoenix on 11th Street, just south of Indian School Road and west of the 51 Freeway. On the website, hardcorechristianity.com. All of our services are there. Tuesday night's my new service, The Deep Things of God. Wednesday night, Diane and Kelly take you into inner healing from childhood abuse and sexual abuse, recovering and healing. Thursday night, the faith healers come in. We rotate them to pray for the sick. And Friday is my teaching service for you, my radio listeners. All of our services are at 7 p.m. When you go to the website, please join us on our YouTube and Facebook pages, and please sign up for another free seminar. And hit the PayPal button and send us another donation. We appreciate that so much. All the bills are paid and have been for 14 years, thanks to you. May God bless you. All of our radio shows, all the time, including Filthy Friday, is always on soundcloud.com/hardcore-christianity 24/7. Wow. The gender unicorn. This thing is getting crazy, folks. It's getting really bad. Bad. Genesis chapter 1. Jehovah, the eternal God of the universe, said, quote, "Let us make man in our image." The Hebrew word for man there is Adam, and we call his name Adam. Our image is Tselem in Hebrew. That's the Hebrew word for shade or exterior resemblance. And it says, Jehovah said, let us is plural. The Hebrew word for God there is Elohim, which is the plural noun for God to account for the Trinity. Let us make man, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, in our image and in our likeness. Demuth, a demuth in Hebrew is in our resemblance, an exterior resemblance. You and I, male and female, human beings, men and women, are all created in the image, the shape and form of Jehovah. God has a head, 2 arms, 2 legs, and a torso, 10 fingers and 10 toes. We are built like him because when you become a born-again Christian, you are a child of God, and naturally, Father wants children that are chips off the old block. Father likes the kids to look like him. Quote, let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, the fowl of the air, cattle, everything that's on the earth, all the creeping things and everything else. Man is to have dominion or dominance over them. And of course, that's what happened. Humans have taken over the planet. So God created man in his own image and in the image of God. Okay, Tselem in Hebrew, the exterior form or shade. Image of God created he them. Male and female, the Hebrew word for male there is zakar. The Hebrew word for female is nekebah. Nekebah is a female. All right? And we are all made in the likeness of God. And that's how it is. Period. And nothing has ever changed. Verse 28, Genesis 1. God blessed them and said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. That is the Hebrew word for replenish. Malay means to refill or reload. That would be the Hebrew term you would use to reload your gun. And subdue it and have dominion over the fish and the fowls and every living thing that moves upon the earth. Man has dominion over. By the way, you want to know something funny? That same Hebrew word maleh, to replenish, was also told to Noah. Noah had to replenish the humans that were living on the earth after the flood, and Adam and Eve replenished the human or humanoid type figures that were living on the earth before Adam was created, because as you know, Satan ruled over the kingdoms of the earth before Adam and Eve. That's in Ezekiel 28 and Isaiah 14. What happened to that old civilization? I don't have all the answers for that. Those are probably the cavemen or something like that we've heard before. But anyway, the old world, or the land that then was long gone before Adam and Adam and Eve were on the planet. But now, here in the United States and in Europe and in Canada, it's happening over much of the planet. Male and female are being thrown out of our society, and children are being given the gender unicorn. Have you ever seen the gender unicorn? Yeah, it's a purple horse with a horn on its head. That's a unicorn. And so it focuses on five areas: gender identity, gender expression, sex assigned at birth, physical attraction to, and emotional attraction to. Wow. And they teach children now. California already passed it in their bylaws for the Department of Education. They are now teaching multiple genders, not just man and woman. Human beings now can have multiple genders. Believe it or not, this is not a joke. This is how insane this has gotten. The homosexuality victory for Satan opened the door to everything else, and one of them is transgenderism, and the next one will be polygamy. That's the next one coming down the pike. But now you've got three pronouns in the school district in California and in our society: him, her, and their. That's how they refer to it. They refer to it as male, female, and intersex. Intersex is the third category. The LGBT community, lesbian, gay, bisexual, and trans, now added a Q on it, which means queer, which means technically question mark, or huh, or what. You're not sure what your gender is. Okay? So now the technical definition, so you can wade yourself through this in the future, sex is now defined in the California School District and the rest of the country as well. It refers to your biological status when you're born. You're either a male, you're either a female, or you're intersex when you're born. Okay? And there are a number of indicators for biological sex, by the way. It includes, things like chromosomes, gonads, internal reproductive organs, external genitalia, blah, blah, blah. No kidding. We used to call that years ago a boy, and the one that had the other characteristics was a girl. Okay, that's been thrown out now. The devil's in command now. He's the boss. And we're all learning from him. Here's what else we're learning. Gender is another term you have to define. That refers to your attitudes and feelings and behaviors that a culture associates with a person's biological sex. It's associated with the cultural expectations connected to a gender. And that determines what gender you are. Okay? The third word you need to know of to identify is gender identity. That is not the social concept of whether the person's male, female, or intersex. It's the person's view of themselves. Gender identity. It's the concept of one's sense of oneself as either being male, female, or transsexual, or transgendered. Okay? That came out from the American Psychological Association in 2006. When one's gender identity and biological sex are not congruent, the individual may identify as transsexual or as another transgender category. The next word you have to learn is gender expression. This refers to the way in which a person acts to communicate their gender socially or culturally. And it involves stuff like, how you look, how you wear your hair, the clothes you wear, your communication patterns, different things like that. The next area you have to learn, or this word you also have to learn, is sexual orientation. And that refers to the type of sex you're attracted to in another person. Is it same-sex attraction? Is it opposite-sex attraction? Is it all-sex attraction? For example, if you're attracted to people of your own sex, your sexual orientation would be gay. If you're attracted to opposite sex, romantically and sexually, your sexual orientation would be heterosexual. If you're attracted to both sexes, romantically, sexually, your sexual orientation would be bisexual. This is how you break it down now, and this is how you figure out what you're talking about. And of course, another term to remember is coming out. That's the process where somebody acknowledges to themselves and acknowledges it to society of what their orientation is. Closeted, of course, is the opposite. And believe it or not, this thing's gotten so bad that on Facebook, you're going to think I'm making this up, but Facebook has 58 different options for you to list your gender on Facebook. Can you imagine that? You could be agender, androgenous, bigender, cisgender, cis female. Oh man, it goes on and on. FTM, gender fluid, gender nonconforming, gender questioning. It's unbelievable. You could be neither. You could be non-binary. You could be intersex. You could be gender queer. You could be gender variant. Can you imagine this? You could be trans, male, female, trans female, male, trans male, male, trans person, trans woman, trans man. Can you even believe that? You could be trans masculine, transsexual, trans female, transsexual, two-spirited. Oh my God. What's happening here? I'll tell you what's happening. God is releasing us to do what we want to do. He gave them up before the flood of Noah, and he's letting us do of our own free will what we have decided. What is Satan doing now? He is stripping us of our real gender that God gave us, male and female, and he's blurring the lines because he wants a sexually unified society, everybody fornicating.
The views expressed on the preceding program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership. This program has been sponsored by Michael W. Smith.